In the world, there are 7,531,809,443 people at this precise moment. Every night, 213,112 people die. But this wasn't the case for John Joseph Johnson Jackson, making him part of the proud 99.90% of people that survive each night. Obviously, he wasn't aware of that. What did catch his attention was the clock on his table. Fuck. For him, that was a mistake that would change his day. But what he didn't know was that every day the 14% of people in the world who oversleep, some people more, some people just by a couple of minutes, but he was just one of the 1,054,453,322 that sleep more than they have to. Nothing special. Before going to work, John Joseph Johnson Jackson noticed something else was wrong. He is now part of an exclusive group which has 135,572,569 people, representing 1.8% of the world's population, who daily and against their will lose their keys. A statistic that no one is proud of, but we have all once belonged to. Clearly, it was a somewhat disheartening start of the day for our hero, who in a fit of anger and weakness decided to become part of the regrettable group that daily makes up 677,862,849 people worldwide, 9% of the registered workforce, who is absent from work. Meanwhile, with daunting depression, John drank milk straight from the carton while no one saw him. Like the astounding 47% of mankind wondered if it was necessary to go on living. If the day-by-day of failures, loneliness and depression one day would change. If someone would miss him. He made a decision. While John Joseph Johnson Jackson took his destiny head-on and was facing to become part of the painful 0.00004% of the world population, which at first glance seems a small percentage but represents the considerable amount of 3,234 people who commit suicide daily, took his last breath. But it was not the last. He could not do it. After thinking twice and realizing that the distance from the ground was not enough to kill him, he decided to turn back. Now our friend is part of a larger and at the same time a little more encouraging statistic. He's one of the 14,332,614 people who try to commit suicide a year but do not carry it out. Frustrated, depressed and embarrassed, he saw his day in a different way. A form of escape, accepted socially and less harmful than jumping into a vacuum in a hurried attempt to finish everything. He decided to be part of the 6.8% of the population, 527,226,661 people, who are constantly drunk in the world. It lacks class, yes, but it works. So far, and to place him in his location, John Joseph Johnson Jackson has been part of many statistics. If we calculate the chances of him being where he is and everything that has happened, the figure shoots up to a number that's not worth saying exactly. But what I can say exactly is that all that had happened this day, the odds that John was in that bar at that hour, with this attitude and at this point in his life, are more than 1 in a million. A much more elusive possibility of being struck by lightning 3 times, or winning the big lottery prize. And maybe that's what happened. What would happen now in John's life would be comparable to having his life struck by 3 lightnings, or winning the lottery. That's September 20th, 2007 in Los Angeles, California. John Joseph Johnson Jackson was part of a very small 2% of the male adult population who meet his true love in a bar. Our friend did not know it yet, but in a few minutes, he'll meet the brand new future Mrs. Johnson Jackson. And you, who are part of an even smaller percentage of people who are watching this, how will you challenge the possibilities today?
Pero solo eres un mamífero más. Baila, mamífero, baila. 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 Baila, mamífero, baila.